Okay, the goal for week 8 is to learn to pull with your back, pull with your lats, initiate the pull with your lats. And this is something that, it's kind of, you got to learn how to do it, you got to practice it. It's not something that comes natural. One of the reasons, if you have trouble doing pull-ups, like if you're doing pull-ups and you never let your, can you see that? If you never let your arms sort of straighten back out because you can't get back off the bottom, one of the reasons is because you're in a bad position. You're not actually using good technique. You're primarily using just your biceps to pull you up, into the pull-up position. So one of the things we want to, or you want to start to learn, is how to initiate the pull with your lats. And this is for all pulling, whether or not you're doing like an overhead, like a lat pull down, or a pull up when you're pulling vertically, or you're doing like rowing movements, dumbbell rows, bent over rows, those type of things. Same thing. You have to engage your lats first as the primary movement. And the way to do it is, you got to think about it. Number one, you got to, when you're setting up to do your pulling moves, think about getting your shoulder in the right position to do the movement. And that's really what it is. You got to get your shoulder packed back into the socket as the initial movement, and then pull. So when you're, it's called packing your shoulder or packing the socket. There's a move called a scapular pull, which is, the scaps are these things in your mid back that, like if you're, let me see if you can see this. If you're hanging, I'm gonna move back a little bit. If you're hanging like for a pull up, and if the first thing you do is break your arms and try to pull with your biceps, you're just engaging your biceps. What you want to do is you want to pack that shoulder down first. So the movement should be shoulder down, pull with the shoulder. The initial move is packing the shoulder. That's the scap pull. If you look, okay, I'm going to show you. I'll get a video off of YouTube to show you some from the back. But so the first movement is pack the shoulder down. That's the scap pull. So what you're thinking about is you're pulling with the shoulder. Certainly don't break the bicep right away. The first move should be the shoulder comes down, and it's followed by the elbows coming down, pulling through, and your elbows kind of come by your side. Same thing with the, if you can see this on a bent over row. If you're in a rowing position like this, the first movement shouldn't be the bending your elbow where you're flexing your bicep. It should be pulling your shoulder back up into the socket. So it's the scap pull, and then drive shoulder back. So shoulder and elbow. Shoulder, elbow. So it's something you got to think about. It's something you got to practice, but it'll make a big difference when, because your lats are a lot stronger than your biceps, and that's really what allows you to do pull-ups and get you into a stronger position, so you can actually complete the movement. So think of pulling with the shoulder first, following with moving the elbow by the body. Don't break the elbow. Don't break the elbow right away, which is sort of that's the biceps. That's the finishing movement. So when you're doing all pulling movements, it should be primarily your lats doing the pulling, your biceps are finishing the movement. They're kind of like secondary movers. So think about it. Do that scap pull, pack the shoulder down, and you'll just feel a lot better. You'll feel the muscle being sore in the lats after the workout. I mean, if you're not feeling any kind of soreness in your back, you're not using good technique and actually engaging your back, and you'll never get very strong that way, and you'll never be able to do pull-ups unless you can engage that shoulder, pack that shoulder down first. That puts you in a much stronger position on the bottom to move yourself, start to pull yourself up, and then your biceps finish it off at the top. Okay, so this week, start working on it again. It's going to take a while. It's one of those things you have to practice. But every time you're doing your pulling, you got to think about it. Pull with the shoulder.